You are welcome to this edition of the Power Circuit, a program brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to inform you about its efforts towards advancing bulk power transmission and its other roles in the power sector. Here are the top stories. Minister of State for Power launches NEMSA's solar mini-grid inspection guidelines. Anambra State government hands over sites to TCN for 2x60 MVA transmission substation project. TCN repositions Kefi substation with higher capacity overload demand. Official. You will also get to hear from the Regional Transmission Manager of Bauchi Region of TCN, Engineer Abdul Ganiyu Aliyu, about the operations of TCN under the region. Stay with us through this edition of the Power Circuit, and you would love it. My name is Chinwenwa Anyao. The Minister of State for Power, Mr. Godi Jedi Agba, has launched solar mini-grid inspection guidelines developed by the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, to support the enforcement of standard procedures of solar power installations. Here is the report.
The Minister of State for Power, Mr. Godi Jedi Agba, at the launch of the guidelines in Abuja, said,
"The importance of this publication cannot be overemphasized. It is aimed at addressing the proliferation of substandard renewable energy materials and equipment, poor design and construction practices."
Jedi Agba also urged NEMSA to ensure the document was made available for all operators in the renewable energy subsector of the Nigerian power sector.
I urge NEMSA to ensure that this set of guidelines are available at all times and widely publicized in the industry. The agency should endeavor to organize trainings from time to time on their use in order to enhance understanding of the targeted users. With publications of the guidelines, certified energy construction and other professionals are enjoined to acquire equip themselves with its content and also ensure that strict compliance is adhered to. It is therefore my honor and singular privilege to present to all of us guidelines for inspection of solar mini-grids in Nigeria.
The Managing Director of NEMSA and Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation, Engineer Peter Eweso, said the document was developed with the support from the Nigerian Energy Support Program, NESP, co-funded by the European Union and the German government and implemented by its agency, GIZ, along with the Federal Ministry of Power.
This came to be because solar mini-grid is one of the fastest way of integrating renewable energy for electric generation to increase access to rural areas where the grid cannot actually be extended to. So they visited a project site which was part of the executed project by the GIZ, Bamu Community 85 kilowatt P mini-grid in Ogun State. This actually has further enhanced the capacity of NEMSA's engineers and tech officers in carrying out inspection in a streamlined manner and in a systematic effort to ensure that when these projects have been completed and commissioned for use, they will be reliable, they will be sustainable, there will be stability. Not like the earlier ones that have been put in place which actually didn't work.
Engineer Eweso noted that the document was essential for the standardization of the solar power facility inspection going forward, adding that it will be made available to the critical stakeholders.
In view of the increase in use of substandard materials and equipment, poor design, poor integration of solar system components, lack of compliance with technical standards, construction installation practices in renewable energy space, it has become imperative to develop this guideline for solar mini-grid in Nigeria. Therefore, the proper use and application of the guideline, particularly by renewable energy project developers and installation contractors and practitioners, Rural Electrification Agency of Nigeria, state rural electricity boards, and other stakeholders will bring about sanity, safety, stability, standardization, and unification of our solar mini-grid installation in line with national and international best practice.
Luis Carlos Miro, who represented GIZ and the head of the Nigerian Energy Support Program, NESP, Duke Benjamin, spoke about the importance of having guidelines for inspecting solar mini-grids, which are fast developing in Nigeria.
NEMSA guidelines themselves, they are extremely important for the mini-grid sector, because now that the sector is emerging at a very fast pace, thanks to the efforts of the government and the industry. The government has done a great job in promoting mini-grids, but also in regulating them. And one of the main pieces of framework that was missing was a framework that ensures the sustainable development of mini-grids in Nigeria. And these guidelines are exactly tackling this challenge.
The Managing Director of the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, Ahmed Salhijo, who did the technical review of the document, advised that the 30-day for correcting faults after NEMSA inspection of mini-grids should be extended, since most solar components are imported for now.
On behalf of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I unveil this set of guidelines and publication for use in the industry. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Round of applause, please.
Come with us to Anambra State, where the Transmission Company of Nigeria recently took possession of a site bordering Ogbunike and Ogidi communities for the construction of a 2x60 MVA transmission substation. TCN said this will improve power evacuation for the distribution load centers in the coverage area.
At the handing over ceremony of the parcel of land for the transmission substation project, the Commissioner for Public Utilities, Engineer Emeka Ezenwanne, who represented Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State, lauded TCN for the giant stride in its decision to build a power infrastructure in the area through a state collaboration.
First of all, is to thank the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria for this wonderful partnership with the government of Anambra State. And to thank, in a very special way, the Governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Chief Madam Obiano, a transformational governor. You know that our governor is very committed in delivering power to the Anambra. Of course, by the time we close this small gap in power, you can imagine what will happen. So we are very grateful to His Excellency. We are very happy, and I wish to, ask the community to make sure they protect this facility, give the contractor all the assistance, so the project will be delivered on time.
The Igwe of Ogidi Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Uzo Onyido, thanked the management of TCN for the developmental projects being located in the communities.
I want to thank the State Governor for signing the MOU and the TCN members for bringing this project to Ogidi and Ogbunike. You see, it's situated in the boundary between Ogidi and Ogbunike, so they're going to serve dual purpose for Ogidi and Ogbunike people, and all the area will enjoy this project. So for me, it's a very noble project and idea. It will help to curb the issue of light energy in my area, and it will boost industrial growth in Obunika and Ogidi and development. So it's a welcome idea.
He further said the land was selected for the purpose of hosting the power transmission projects by the Anambra State government led by Governor Willie Obiano for the benefits of the residents of the communities. The General Manager Engineering of TCN, Engineer Geoffrey Nwokoye, said the area has been affected by inadequate supply, and so TCN considered executing the substation project to resolve this.
Currently, there is only 2 number 33 kV feeders from Obosi that feed about 5 local government areas here, including Dunukofia, Oyi, Idemiri West, Idemiri South, rather, and Anambra East and West. So you see, these local governments, they are massive local governments with a lot of population. And when you talk of power supply, it's really not there. And wherever you don't have good power base, it affects a lot of things. Even the life of the people, the quality of life there is always poor. And when the quality of life is poor, it brings a lot of things, both insecurity. Because if somebody has something reasonable doing, he wouldn't venture into maybe stealing, robbery, and all that.
Engineer Nwokoye said, based on study conducted by TCN, a transmission substation was critical in the area.
The plan is to install 2 by 60 MVA transformers here with 6 outgoing 33 kV feeders.
The TCN official said the land handover documents have been signed between TCN and the communities, with copies of the documents handed over to the contractors to ensure they immediately commence the projects.
We'll bring you more informative reports after this break.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
As part of its overall plan to have more wheeling capacity than the loads demand in Nigeria, the Transmission Company of Nigeria repositioned the 132-33 kilovolt KEFI transmission substation in Nasarawa State. Presently, it has more capacity than the energy loads demand, an official has said.
The 132-33 kilovolt KEFI transmission substation is a facility to reckon with at TCN as it gets its supply through the 132 kV Akwanga transmission line and the 132 kV Abuja's Karo transmission line. The substation's coverage area extends to multiple kilometers of densely populated urban and rural communities across KEFI local government area, and the largest of all, which is the Karo local government area of the state. The Assistant Manager System Operations in charge of the 132-33 kV substation, Engineer Samuel Musa Medugu, said the substation, which was put in use over 13 years ago, has been enhanced with more power evacuation capacity than what is demanded for at the distribution feeders within the substation.
We have two transformers, 30 MVA and 60 MVA. Altogether 90 MVA now. That 30 MVA can take about 26 megawatts, but approximately we limited ourselves to not to take everything. We limited there should be reserved, so we limited ourselves to like 22 megawatts instead of 26. That of 60 MVA used to take about 52.
The Power Circuit reports that a major milestone at the substation was the addition of a 60 MVA power transformer to the capacity of the facility in 2018. By 2019, a capacitor bank was installed and commissioned at the Kefi substation to improve the quality of power supply from the facility to the distribution load centers.
The other one cannot take cannot feed the entire Kefi environment. So they decide to add another 60 MVA, which is presently is the one we are using. That is even above the capacity of what they have in the around now.
Beside the current capacity of the facility, which Engineer Moidugu said is above the energy demand, TCN has further plans to expand the capacity of the substation.
There is enough land for expansion.
The TCN official also said there are standard routine maintenance plans for the substation.
When we come in, the normal routine maintenance are, firstly, we inspect the station and know that everything, whether there is fresh fault or no fresh fault, before we take over from the station. It's a normal routine maintenance.
The Bauchi region of TCN has several power transmission substations, 3 sub-regional offices and 2 work centers under it. At the 330-132 kilovolt Bauchi transmission substation in Bauchi town, the regional transmission manager of the region, Engineer Abdul Ganiyu Aliyu, speaks more about activities in the region, especially about the newly created work center in Jalingo, Taraba State.
What is the scope of the Bauchi region?
We have 3 sub-regional offices and 2 work centers. The 3 sub-regional offices are Yola sub-region, Gombe sub-region, and Jos sub-region. While the work center we have Maiduguri Work Center and of course the newly created Jalingo Work Center. For response to fault clearing and easy operation, the management of TCN has thought it wise that they should create a new work center, and that is Jalingo Work Center. The creation of this Jalingo Work Center will assist TCN in response time, especially now that we have signed subsidiary service level agreement that we have just signed. It will reduce the downtime, because between Yola, initially Yola was the one controlling Jalingo area, Jalingo substation. But now that the Jalingo substation has been created, you can imagine we have about, the distance between Yola and Jalingo is about 160 kilometers. So before our team, like the lines clearing fault men, before they will get to Jalingo, if a transformer trips in Jalingo, before they travel down 160 kilometers, it will increase the downtime, and it will be against us in this service level agreement we have just signed. So the management thought it wise that they should create that Jalingo work center, so that already there are staff there in terms of the PCNM, linesmen, electrical maintenance, so that as soon as fault occurs, they will be able to attend it in the shortest possible time and restore the service back.
The region covers the northeast. How does TCN get over the challenge of insurgency in carrying out its operations?
Insurgency is part of insecurity in the country. It is almost everywhere. But the truth has been that the region has been coping very well with insurgency. We have been networking with the military, and they have been assisting us in our operation. Well, with the support of our maintenance staff and all the generality staff under Bauchi region, we have been cooperating together, we have been networking, we have been sensitizing ourselves and making sure that the progress of supply in this region is constant. So we have been doing our best to just meet the challenge.
Are there plans being executed to expand the capacity of bulk power delivery?
There are so many ongoing plans of expansion by TCN. The management has scoped some projects that they want to do in this region. Because if you look at the capacity of our region as of today is 1,050 MVA. That's about 900 megawatts. And because of the, you know that the demand for electricity will keep increasing. And I would like you to know that even in this, there are so many loads that are not connected due to maybe the distance or poor network. But if those loads are connected to our grid, the demand will definitely increase. To meet up with that demand, the management has decided to turn this Bauchi region, like this Bauchi substation here in Bauchi, to upgrade it from 122 kV substation to 330 kV substation. Similarly, in Gombe sub-region, the management want to increase the capacity with 300 MVA at 330 and 100 MVA at 132. The same thing will be done in Jos.
There has been a boost by the management to utilize in-house engineers to deliver more transmission projects. What is your view about this?
It enhances capacity building. You can believe it that in this country today, when it comes to power system engineering, when it comes in terms of high voltage maintenance, the staff, those who have the capacity to do it are mostly TCN staff. So with training, with experience, we're able to achieve most of our job. The Damatru was completed by in-house. Damatru 330 by 132 kV substation was completed in-house. The Molai at Meduguri was completed in-house. Even there is a transformer here. I will show you when we go to the yard in Bauchi substation here. I will show you a new transformer that was 60 MVA that was installed in-house. So it will enhance the capacity development of the staff, and it will reduce the cost. Because I want you to know that some of these jobs that are done in-house, we don't use more than 30% of the total cost charged by the EPC contractor. So based on this, it has enhanced our capacity development and it reduced the cost spent by TCN.
How do the in-house engineers in this region react when they are told to execute projects rather than the use of contractors?
They are very happy. They are very, very happy. That's the reaction. They're extremely happy. Sometimes we turn them to task force. Sometimes we invite people from the headquarters to join them. Are you getting me? It is transfer of knowledge. And it's, you know, this we call on-the-job training. Most of our young staff are trained on the job by their involvement in in-house work that have been carried out under this region.
Here are the top stories again. Minister of State for Power launches NEMSA's solar mini-grid inspection guidelines. Anambra State government hands over site to TCN for 2x60 MVA transmission substation project. We also brought to you an interview session with the regional transmission manager of Bauchi region of TCN, Engineer Abdulganiyu Aliyu, who spoke about the operations of TCN under the region. We are glad you always stay with us on the Power Circuit. You can view this episode and others on TCN YouTube channel. Please interact with us on these platforms as TCN needs your support to advance its mandate. Coronavirus is real and tens of thousands have died globally. In spite of the decline in reported cases as announced by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, please keep observing the safety protocols and stay safe. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. Let's keep in touch next week.